Oh, hello, and welcome to Better Than Common Garage. I'm your host, I think, for the most part. No, that was stupid. Look at this disaster. Hi everybody, welcome back to Better Than Common Garage. This behind me was a project I started a couple months ago and has got put on the back burner. This is my little garage beside my big garage. It used to be a butcher shop 100 years ago. But right now it is a well, I'm waiting for FEMA to show up to this certified disaster. It looks like a pack rat lives here. So I would really like to get my lathe going. I got a couple projects I'd like to do. I finally got the wiring fixed up in here. Doesn't look like it, but there's actually good wires there. I had to run new conduit and power wire into here, but that's all straightened up. So now it's time to start this project up again. And this just went from bad to worse. I mean, it really wasn't in that clean of a state to begin with, but it was way better than it is now. What do we got back here? Oh my goodness, I'm falling down. All right. Let's see. We got power back here, don't we? Nope. No power. Breaker popped. Well, anywho, by the who and the way. Makeshift workbench to hold my lathe parts. Just junk. Junk. And I need to get my cherry picker out of the way. It needs to find a home outside somewhere. My goodness, I can't even walk through here. So, anywho's, this is what I'm gonna. I think this is what I'm gonna do tonight. Is attempt to make heads or tails of this disaster. Does anybody else have this problem where they save entirely too much wood? I got a whole pile of wood I have Ava helping me gather up and take to the burn barrel. I save the good stuff, you know, high value wood. This piece here, no joke, I can tell by the stuff that's on it, was used whenever I built the house, whenever we put the coating on the siding. This board was used in that process. That was 10 years ago. I think that's a little sad. Makes me a little bit want to cry, but I've had it that long. It's a treasure. My wife hates it that I'm such a hoarder, but we're making progress. We got the corner for the table saw cleared out, getting the wood cleared out, and then we'll be on to the next thing to move out, I guess. Okay, so I got that pretty well handled. It's not perfect, not terrible. I gotta get that crap. And this stuff, I'm gonna have to try to find a spot outside to keep, because it just ain't gonna fit in here. Eventually, I'm gonna put a Bridgeport here. I'll have to cut a hole in the ceiling for it to fit, but that's the ideal location for a Bridgeport. This lathe has got to scooch back. Then eventually, all of this is going to go. Might have like a little toolbox there and a workbench, maybe a drill press or two. So yeah, I'd like to eventually set this up as a nice little machine shop, but for now, I'll be happy just to have my little Warner Swasey number 4 going. So hopefully sitting over the winter with WD-40 and other chemicals mixed into this tool post got it loosened up. Highly doubtful, but maybe. So we'll find some homes for all this junk probably after dinner, because it is that time. So all right, it's a new day. We're gonna get back into it, see how much we can get done today. Should be fun. All right, got that pulled out. I think I'm gonna need some mechanical assistance from here to get this where its long-term storage is gonna be. From now on, it's not gonna be in here anymore. Making some progress. We got a lot of stuff in here. All right, let's get to it. Let's get the tractor. Tractor assistance is needed. All right. It is in there. Let's see if you can see it. Yeah. Hidden cleverly in front of the old blue Bronco there. Tucked away. And I just got to stack up some junk. Got some burning I want to do here, but can't do it right at the moment because it is drier than a popcorn fart out. That's pretty dry. So now that that's put away, sort of, I got to finish cleaning up around that, but now we can keep on keeping on up here. The main area of my concern, which actually looks way better without that stupid car lifting or the engine hoist in here. Let's keep on going. See what else we can get into. Okay, so the last clip you saw me turning on these bolts. The heads are a little bit big to fit down in my chuck. Now they fit perfectly. I bought new ones and the heads were just a little big, so I had to turn, I took about 50 thou off of them. So all good now. I'm going to finish cleaning, redding up a little bit just so it's a little bit nicer to work. And then I got my phase converter, phase shifter, digital phase shifter. I don't know. Dad used this one on a little mill he has. It's not quite the right size and it was making his motor hot, but it says it's good for 5 to 7.5 3-phase 220. The motor on this thing is 7.5 horse 3-phase. So in theory that should be what I need. There's a couple ways you can make 3-phase. One is this way. The other one I know about, again, no electrician, but the other one I know about is taking, and it's a rotary phase converter. That's what Dad has in the other shop. That's that noise that you hear. And what it does is it's a 3-phase motor. You start on single phase and it captures the other phase as it's running, and you got to run it through transformers, or not transformers, resistors and capacitors, and just make it all the hertz and things of the stuff to do the things that you want it to do. I don't know. I don't know enough things about it. Don't really want to know enough things about it. All I know is that little magic box should make the right amount of electricity for this machine. So that's the goal for today, is to get cleaned up and then get that on and see if the contacts and the motors and everything else still work on this machine. I know Dad had some issues with it, is what he was telling me the other night back in the day, so very well could have some more issues with it. So I'm going to tear into her today. We'll see if we can get that moving. All right, that's a little better. A little bit not as chaotic. My very temporary bench, I might have to put a leg in the back. Like I said, this is just extremely temporary. As soon as I get that up and going, I'm gonna tear this down and probably move that shelf into the other garage and try to make this a little bit more of a machine shop instead of a mess, which is what it is right now. So I think I'm going to work on wiring, maybe. Might actually slide this out a little bit so I can get to the wiring, now that I think about it a little bit, because back here are the boxes. I don't know what they do. I'm fixing to find out. But I do think I need a little bit of room, so I might move the lathe back just a teensy weensy little bit. Let's do that quick and carry on. All right, that's a little better. She's a heavy one. So, probably just need to get in here. All right, I'm gonna turn you guys off and turn you back on whenever I got something to show. All right, let's see what we got. I got that open. That was no biggie. That's for my disconnect. This is for the other things that do the stuff. That's not exactly what I wanted to see. I hope. And it doesn't look terrible. Obviously not great. But I'm doubting it did those contactors any good. Mouse pea is very corrosive. It wreaks havoc on electronics. So, what's that say? Does it say anything important? This stuff one-handed is very difficult. Oh, it's just square D tag off the inside of the box there. So I'm going to get the old shop vac and see if I can't get this disgusting mess cleaned out. Then assess the situation. Well, I got bad news and not much good news. The vermin have wreaked havoc in here. That's a bare wire. That's bare wires. Down here, you got lots of bare wires. That may be a ground, actually. But that's some bare wires. That's an hour meter. I don't need to hook that back up. That's going down to the motor. Maybe? No. I don't know. Is that it? Looks like it. It ain't very heavy wire for it, but there's that one. Okay, there's the 3 leads going to the motor. They look okay-ish. There's a ground. Okay, that's coming up from the motor. All right, so, and this is like a, I guess it's some sort of like a time starter type deal. So I may end up, these wires here, I think it goes to this cable here, which goes up to the headstock, but I think they go out to the switch out front for the on off. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of plumbing. Might see if I can't pop these boxes off, pull them out so I can get a better look at everything. And the wires, I haven't the foggiest of where these go, but they need replaced. Luckily, none of the big wires look like they got chewed. That one there got chewed for sure. And I don't know about you guys, having bare wires on 3-phase, it just makes me a tickle nervous. Not good. Not good. All right. We've made some progress. I put a new wire on here to replace my chewed up one. It's routed a little different. This one went sort of behind the box here, between the box and the plate. I wasn't able to finish this one, fish that one back there. That should work just fine. This is what's it say on the side of the wire here? It's not your normal wire. It's 600 volt, 12 gauge or something like that. Not normal car wire by any stretch of the imagination. I have a whole roll of it. I wish I had some red, but I only have green. Let's see if I can find it. This is, what's it say there? It says it's 12 gauge type MTW. Oil gas resistant and 600 volts. You see that? No. Anywho's, I did end up putting some shrink tubing to cover up this wire here and here, the bare wire spots. The wire itself, it's single strand copper. The wire itself seems to be okay for what it is. So I just put some shrink tubing on it, and I actually have good shrink tubing. It's rated for 600 volts. I don't know if you can see that, but it says 600 volts right there. So hopefully I can put this back together. Hopefully these little contactors here are good. We shall see. This is extra ones that they have in the bottom of the box here. These are probably no good anymore, but that's what they look like. And we shall see. I'm gonna continue on wiring until I run out of stuff I feel qualified to do. Let's keep going. Okay, I've sufficiently tore this apart now. I wish they would make modern day stuff this serviceable. This is, I don't know what you would call it, but it's like a little solenoid almost. And these contacts, you see how they're sort of corroded and pitted and stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and just shine them up. This got a bunch of dirt and stuff in there, but all this comes apart. Just a couple screws. It's got a little electromagnet here, a little solenoid that pulls the contacts in so they contact each other in there. So I'm going to see what we can do here with some, gotta go get a piece of emery cloth or sandpaper or something. But yeah, this is as far as I want to go, making me a little nervous at this point actually, but we shall see. Okay. If you can't see that, those contacts are nice and clean. The opposite ends are clean. Those marks in the middle there, I don't know if you see them. It looks like you can see them. Those are like just faded shadows of where they were dirty. But I'm gonna stick this back together. It goes something like this. Goes in there. Right, there we go. There it goes. One-handed with your non-dominant hand. If you ever want to look like a fool, start a YouTube channel where you got to work one-handed. I mean, most people do. Tripods. Not this guy. If you can't hold your phone and record and do something, I mean, what good are you? Look at that. Like I knew what I was doing or something. Okay, that's that. And then this solenoid has to go in there, and that lifts up on the contacts there. And that's what provides your contact from your fuses down through to the top side of this, to the bottom side of this, which goes these wires here, which are the motor wires. So just my very, very limited knowledge on how this works. Anywho's, I'm going to button this the rest of the way up and then start with the wiring of this and my fancy little box down yonder. I'll pick you up back then. Okay, we got some wiring done. I don't know if it's right, but it's done. So we got, this is a, I forget what it's rated at, but it's a pretty heavy duty cord there. And another heavy duty cord there hooked up to my box thingy. And it's all plumbed together in there. All plumbed together down there. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna throw the breaker. That's step one. Let's see if we can't get shocked. Okay, that's good. I don't see any magic smoke coming out anywhere. The little box is lit up. Now, I think all that's good. Let's get a pair of gloves here. You never know, just in case. Okay, that's on. It should be hot down to the connector. Let's see if this does anything. Okay. That sounded like it was just a bunch of dirt and stuff, which it blew a fierce amount of stuff out there, but the motor turned on. I don't see anything that's giving me reason to think it's gonna catch on fire or anything. Hey, my switch worked. That's a plus. I think maybe it was just clearing off some rust. Let's let it go for a little bit. Okay, so we got the timer. It's still going. Got some belts flopping there. Motor's running. It's a little noisy. Let me shut her down. I think let's get a hand down here. See, okay, no heat. All right, I think that's a success for that. The belts are obviously flopping around, hitting the inside of the cover. It's got a bunch of dirt and stuff to get out of the pulleys and stuff, but mouse crap and what have you. All right, so we got power, we got runnage. It's a little noisy. I sent a video to my dad and he's a little concerned. So he's gonna come out and we're gonna check out some of the oiling system and maybe the filter. And I'm gonna look into whether or not we're getting oil in the gears and gearbox and stuff. The gauge didn't read last time I turned it on. I don't want to run it any longer than what it needs to be run without oil. I guess I could look in there, but it, you know, like anything, it needs oil to operate. So we're gonna hang out and wait for Papa to get here and try to continue on. All right, so I was cleaning up on the chuck, waiting for Dad. He came out, we fired it up, and we come to find out that my oil pump is seized. Well, actually the coolant pump. They're driven by this flat belt here. There's not any tension on it on purpose. The oil pump is on the bottom, and then the coolant pump is on top. And right now the coolant pump is locked up, keeping the oil pump from spinning. So that's what I'm going to work on. And right now, my battery on my phone is going to die. So I might not film anything until I have this thing running. Until then, let's call it here. That's a pretty good day for today. I got the power hooked up. It's not permanently mounted. Obviously, I got a slew of wire there, but eventually I think I'm going to put that box on the wall and then run this yellow wire over to the fuse panel, and then just use that black line as a whip. Yeah, so that'll be it for me today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Come back next time, and I'm probably going to have I'll have the oil pump freed up, the chuck on, hopefully this thing pushed into place and moving. Come back next time to see that. Bye. Yeah. Sweet. I don't like it. I love it. Check it out. Got me a 3-jaw. And with that, goodbye. We got oil pressure. Nice. Look at that. Brake works. Gears change nice. Chuck doesn't seem to have too much run out. I might have to clean that up. All the gears, all the shafts are turning. I just disconnected the water pump. It's still locked up. I'm not sure. I'll have to look at that later. It actually, once it started building oil pressure, it quieted down. It was a little bit noisier. Getting all this stuff worked through it. All the oil worked through all the places it hasn't had oil in 30 years. All right, I promise, I'm done this time. We'll see you in the next video.